I returned my son's birthday present and couldn't stop smiling. My 12-year-old son Jake had been begging for the new iPhone for months. His birthday was coming up, and even though money was tight, I saved up and got him the phone he desperately wanted. When he unwrapped it, his face lit up for exactly 3 seconds before he frowned. "Dad, this is the regular iPhone, not the Pro Max," he said, barely looking up from his old phone. Tommy's dad got him the Pro Max. This one's basically useless. I felt my heart sink. I'd worked overtime for 2 months to afford even the regular model. When I suggested he could upgrade next year, he rolled his eyes and muttered something about being embarrassed to show it to his friends. That's when I decided to return it. The next day at the electronics store, I was standing in the return line when I overheard a conversation behind me. A teenage girl, maybe 16, was talking quietly to what looked like her younger brother. "I'm sorry, Marcus. I know you really wanted a phone for your birthday, but with Mom in the hospital, I just can't afford it right now," she whispered. "Maybe next year when I get more hours at work." The boy, who couldn't have been older than 14, just nodded and squeezed her hand. "It's okay, Sarah. Mom getting better is way more important than a stupid phone. Besides, I can always use the library computers for school stuff." I turned around and really looked at them. The girl had dark circles under her eyes and was wearing scrubs, probably coming straight from work. Her brother's shoes had holes in them, but he was trying to cheer her up, making jokes about how phones just make people antisocial anyway. That's when it hit me. Here was my son, complaining about getting a $700 phone because it wasn't the $1,200 version, while this kid was grateful for nothing and trying to comfort his sister, who was clearly struggling to take care of him. I stepped out of the return line and walked over to them. "Excuse me," I said to the girl. "I couldn't help but overhear. Is it your brother's birthday?" She looked nervous, probably thinking I was going to complain about them being too loud. "Yes, sir. It was yesterday, actually. We were just looking around." I held up the iPhone box. "Well, this is awkward. I bought this for my son, but it turns out I got the wrong model. The store won't let me exchange it, only return it. I hate to see it go to waste. Would your brother be interested in it?" Both of them stared at me like I'd grown a second head. The boy shook his head quickly. "Oh no, sir. We couldn't accept that. That's way too expensive." "Actually," I said, "it's not costing me anything. I'm returning it anyway. And honestly, you'd be doing me a favor. I hate seeing good things go to waste." The girl's eyes filled with tears. "Sir, are you serious? We really can't pay you for it. I'm not asking you to pay. Consider it a birthday gift from a fellow big sibling," I said, remembering how I used to take care of my younger sister when our parents worked double shifts. The boy looked at his sister, then back at me. "Why would you do this for strangers?" I smiled and handed him the box. The girl started crying and hugged me so tight I thought she might crack my ribs. I got back in my car and called Jake. When I told him I'd returned the phone, he started to argue, but I cut him off. "Son, we need to have a talk about gratitude when I get home." As I was pulling out of the parking lot, I saw the girl and her brother sitting on a bench outside. He was carefully taking the phone out of the box like it was made of glass, and she was showing him how to set it up. The pure joy on that kid's face, like he'd won the lottery, made me realize that my son had never looked that happy about anything in his life. That's when I couldn't stop smiling.